Hello everyone, it's the Hobby Dabbler. Today I'm going to keep working on my page that I started in my crayon background tutorial. So far what I've done is I've taken some coloring pages and I've torn them up and I've pasted them to the back with some gel medium. And then if you watched my tutorial, I took an iron and some little bits of crayon and I've melted it over top. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking some plum archival ink and a dry baby wipe, and I'm just going around the edges with the plum color. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to take some of my color wash sprays. So let me grab those. So I'm going to take some sailboat blue and my homemade raspberry color. And I'm going to spray that a bit. And it's not going to stick where the crayon is. And now I'm going to take some water and let that move around my page. So wet that up nice. And just kind of let it spread around the page. And it's not going to stick where the crayon is. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to give that a dry and I'll be right back. That's dry. I am going to take this, I guess you'd call it an embellishment that I made, and I'm going to glue it on with some white glue. I made this with gel medium and yarn. So I guess I might make a tutorial of it later. I'm not going to put this on with gel medium because I don't think it's going to stick. So we're going to try some white glue and see if how that does. Glue that on there. It's kind of an awkward thing to glue. But I want to add this because I'd like some more texture on the page. I don't have a ton of texture going on other than the crayon. Okay, there we go. So we'll give that a minute to dry. Okay, that's dry, and now I'm going to go back in with my homemade turquoise color wash, and I'm going to spray that. Okay. And let that water itself down to spread around a bit. Oop, my water bottle's giving me trouble here. Okay. So it's kind of like a little spider web. Okay, now I'm going to take this Jane Davenport stamp, this one here, and what I'm going to do is, well, I already did it. I printed it on some tissue paper. And I'm going to glue her on with some gel medium right there. When you're doing tissue paper, you have to be careful because it will wrinkle up, and it's pretty fragile when you're putting the gel medium on. So try not to rip it best you can. So I'm going to put her here. There we go. And then I'm going to put some gel medium over top. And what you're going to see is that the tissue paper goes translucent, so you can still see the background in there behind her, which is kind of nice. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, so now I have to do something with her hair. And I'm not real good with hair, to be honest. So I'm just gonna go in with my acrylic and I'm gonna give her a funky little hairdo. I find hair really difficult. I'm not really sure what to do with it. So hopefully this is okay. I feel like this side should be bigger because our head is turned, but I could be wrong. I'm not great with perspectives. And get a bit on her forehead there. There we go. I like to do things with my fingers. I don't know. I feel like I have more control than I do with a brush. So there's the teal color. And then I think I'm going to go in with a bit of this, whatever color this is, tropical blue it says. Just a little bit. Give her a bit of definition. There we go. Okay. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go in with my Copic markers. I got kind of a flesh tone, just to make her face a bit more visible. It just gives it a little bit more pink to it. I used archival ink, so it shouldn't smear. You want to be sure to use archival ink, otherwise, say you use distress ink. Well, as soon as you use your Copic markers, that's going to just smear everywhere. So give her a bit of pink, and then I'm going to do her lips in, whoops, not green. I meant to grab this kind of, I'm not sure what color it is, but it's, oh, it's called salmon red. Okay, salmon red, and do her lips. And I think I'll do her eyes a dark blue. So her eyes would be here. Now, these stamps are great if you're not very good at drawing, which I'm not the best at. I'm going to put some lines in her hair with this blue color. I imagine, see, I'm not great with hair. Hair is really hard. If you have a trick for hair, let me know. Because I certainly don't know what I'm doing with hair. Okay. Now, her body looks kind of weird just hanging there. So I think I'm going to take a piece of paper, probably this one, and I'm just going to cut her some shoulders. So I'll just cut a piece and round off the edges, because she looks kind of weird without shoulders. She just seems to be a floating head right now. So I'll give her a bit of a body. I'll glue that on with some gel medium. And this is that paper that I got from the thrift store that is like a homemade sort of paper. It's almost like a tissue paper, but it has fibers in it. So we'll put her shoulder kind of like she's twisted a bit. There we go. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I have a sentiment that I already cut out. And it says, chase your dreams, you might catch one. And I have to decide where to put it. Probably down here. And I also have, where did it go? I have a bit of lace that I'd like to add on top of this. It's white. And I'm going to leave it white for contrast. So I think, not sure exactly where I'm going to put it yet. Okay, I'm going to put it right here, a little bit longer than this embellishment. And and I also have this embellishment that I want to add on top of this thing. This is made from milk carton lids. I have a video of that as well. I haven't decided if I want it there or if I want it up in her hair. It's kind of too big to be in her hair, so I think I'll put it here. I'll get my white glue out for that. Put a bunch of white glue on there and stick it on. That should be good there. Okay. And I'm also going to use white glue to glue on this lace. And we're not going to go all the way, but a little bit past there, and snip it off at the edge. And then I have my sentiment down there, which I'm going to glue on with some gel medium because it's just paper. This one I got out of a daily planner. It was a daily planner that had sentiments on each page. So what did I end up doing was I cut out all the sentiments so I can use them in my art journal. So things like that, you never know what's inside them. Always look inside books at thrift stores that you think look kind of interesting, because there might be some really handy things inside. So there's that. And now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take some speckles, because I like a good speckle on a page. I'm going to take some white gesso and I'm going to water down a brush. And I am going to then flick the page with some speckles. So get it good and watery, and hold your brush like this and go this way. Oh, see, it's not watery enough. We need more water. Okay, let's try this again. There we go, now we're getting some speckles. Speckles everywhere. Need some more gesso. Now I got some on her eye. I don't want that on her eye, so I'll wipe that off, and her chin. But it just adds a little bit of interest. There we go. Got a big splotch on her head. I'll take that off too. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my black Pigma pen, my Micron Pigma pen. And I'm gonna just outline the title. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna dry it first. Okay, now I'm gonna take my Pigma pen and go around. I need a thicker one. Nope, that one's thinner. Here's my thick one. And I'm also gonna do some of her hair too. I don't know. Okay. And I'm gonna take my white marker, my white painter's, Elmer's painter's pen, and I'm gonna do the whites of her eyes to make her eyeballs pop. And I will have to come back in with my Pigma marker after that dries. Okay, so just come back in with your marker and clean up the eye where you kind of got paint over top of it. Okay. Now I feel like it's not quite finished yet, so I feel like it needs a bit more white for contrast. Since the words are so white and this is so white, I feel like I need more white. So I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm going to spread some gesso on it, just with my fingers like that. And I'm going to kind of rub a bit of white on the page to soften it a bit. Whoops. Just around the edges. Or maybe on here, I'm going to add a bit of white that's a little heavier. I'm not doing it super heavy, I'm just kind of blending with the white. I'm going to do that around her hair too. And it just kind of softens things a little bit. You don't need to do it. I just feel like it adds something to the page a bit. Thought I did too much on her hair, so let's just flatten that out a bit. Kind of gives her almost a glow effect. But I did it too much on her hair, so I'm going to take a wet baby wipe and just wipe off on her hair. I more wanted it around her than on her. There we go. And you can just blend the edges with a wet baby wipe if you want to. And yeah, so I think think I'm good with that page now. Yeah, I think I like it the way it is now. So I'll do a few close-ups in the pictures, and thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!